most members of the mint family. Come on, fly, get out of here. I'm gonna kill you. Anyway. Hello, welcome back, and if you are new here, welcome. My name is Danae London, and in today's video we will be building a windowsill apothecary. If you are like me, winters can be a bit of a struggle, especially if you live somewhere like Maine where the winters are quite long, and I find that it's really helpful to have a little greenery around me to help fend off the winter blues. So today we will be talking about how to create your very own windowsill apothecary using living plants and natural decorative elements. We'll talk about what types of plants can be grown indoors and how you can make different medicinal preparations out of those plants. Then we'll talk about the aesthetics of your windowsill apothecary and how to use natural elements to create a healing space. So before we get started, let's first discuss what an apothecary is. An apothecary can actually be a noun describing a person or a place. Traditionally, an apothecary was a person who created, dispensed, and sold medicines. Now that's used in the past tense in a lot of dictionaries now because apothecary is not a common term used to describe a person who dispenses medicine. An apothecary as a place is a place where medicines are prepared and dispensed. So what we are creating today is a windowsill where medicines can be prepared and dispensed. So now let's talk about what types of plants you can use indoors and how they can be used medicinally. So you're probably familiar with a lot of different types of culinary herbs that people incorporate into windowsill herb gardens. So those could be herbs like sage, thyme, rosemary, basil, oregano, chives, and stevia. These are all culinary herbs that also have medicinal value. So remember that in natural medicine, food is often medicine and medicine is often food. So when you hear me talking about your windowsill apothecary, you'll probably notice that it sounds a lot like a windowsill herb garden. And you wouldn't be wrong about that. They are pretty much the same thing with some small differences. By defining a windowsill herb garden as a windowsill apothecary, what we're doing is shifting our focus to focus on the medicinal uses of herbs rather than necessarily their culinary uses, like using herbs for seasonings. By defining our windowsill herb garden as an apothecary, we are inspired to use the herbs and prepare them in a way that increases their medicinal potency. Again, rosemary, thyme, stevia, oregano, basil, these are all great culinary herbs that also have medicinal value. So what are some other great medicinal plants that you can easily grow indoors? One family of plants that I would say you could pretty much do anything in this family and it would grow well indoors is anything in the mint family. Members of the mint family include obviously spearmint, peppermint, but it also includes plants like catnip and lemon balm and stinging nettle, though I wouldn't recommend that you grow stinging nettle indoors unless you're planning to put police tape up around your plants. Now let's talk about how to prepare medicines in your windowsill apothecary. So a windowsill apothecary is a bit different from your traditional cabinet apothecary. So maybe when you typically think of an apothecary, you're thinking of an area where you are storing herbs and medicines long term, and that really needs to be a cool, dark environment. A windowsill apothecary is a totally different game because what you're dealing with is a lot of sunlight and a lot of fluctuating temperatures. So the types of medicines you're going to prepare in your windowsill apothecary will be a little bit different, and how you do those preparations will also be different. Typically, heat and light are something that you want to avoid in an apothecary. Sunlight and fluctuating temperatures can affect the potency of certain medicinal preparations like dried herbs and alcohol tinctures. A windowsill apothecary is what I like to describe as an active apothecary, meaning that our preparations are made and used in the short term. So when you are requiring certain medicinal properties of your plants, you simply visit your windowsill apothecary You cut off the parts of the living plant that you want to use for medicine, and then you're going to immediately prepare it in either a decoction or an infusion, some sort of tea that you can readily drink right after harvesting your plant. And the nice thing about this is that fresh herbs are usually more flavorful and they usually have a higher medicinal potency as compared to if you dried the herb and put it away for long-term storage. Now, if you have the option for long-term storage, you can use your Windowsill Apothecary to prepare herbs. For example, maybe you have an abundance of catnip growing in your windowsill. You can trim that plant and hang your catnip and use the power of the sun to dry it. And then once that herb is dry, you can put it into a mason jar or some kind of sealable glass jar and put that away for long-term storage in a cool, dark environment. You can also use your windowsill herb garden to make certain types of herbal infusions. Heidi Villegas at the Healing Harvest Homestead, you should definitely check out her YouTube channel. She is a real fan of using the gentle warming effects of the sun to help create certain types of herbal infusions. Specifically, we're talking about oil infusions. So the gentle effect of the sun helps to draw out the compounds in your herbs when creating an oil infusion. So what I like to do is fill up a jar with olive oil or whatever type of oil I'm using for an infusion, add my herbs to that. You want to use dried herbs for this and not wet herbs. And I just let that sit for about 3 to 4 weeks, and then I strain out the herbs from the oil, and then I do store the oil somewhere that is cool and dark for long-term storage. This is really important because the oil can go rancid if you leave it out in the heat and sun for too long. And finally, some medicines you don't even need to prepare in order to enjoy the benefits from them. Aromatic herbs like rosemary, thyme, mint, and lemon balm, these provide healing qualities simply through the inhalation of the essential oils. So create a nice little space around your aromatic herbs and sit down and take a breather, and you'll get some of those benefits that can aid in relaxation and anxiety relief. Let's talk about how you can make your windowsill apothecary aesthetically pleasing to create a space that heals just by being present in it. So one way I like to decorate my windowsill apothecaries is to take any of my emptied colored glass bottles. So that could be blue glass, your amber colored bottles, or even your clear glass bottles. I just like to put those on display and watch the sunlight shine through them, and I just like the look of it. You can put on display your marble, mortar, and pestles if you have any of those, or maybe you're really into pottery. You can put your pottery on display in your windowsill apothecary. Anything that is made of stone, marble, clay, wood, these are all great natural elements to include in your windowsill apothecary. We know from many studies that forest bathing and being present in a green environment can help to reduce anxiety and strengthen the immune system. So why not try creating your own green microenvironment in your home? You can also incorporate just regular household plants. I find that plants like a pothos or a spider plant, snake plants, jades, these plants all do really well indoors and can thrive in low light environments, and they just add a very green look to your space and can provide additional healing benefits in your windowsill apothecary simply through air filtration. I find that alone really helps to improve my mental well-being, especially in the dead of winter. Other items you can incorporate into your windowsill apothecary are natural themed art. So I like to paint, and I included some of my paintings, and usually they're very nature themed. Well, actually they're always nature themed. And I just find that it helps to inspire and relax me and get me excited about the next season. Now in 2018, there was actually a study done in Japan that looked at the effects, the psychological and physiological effects of touching wood on people. In this study, people were asked to walk across a surface. There was a control surface, and then there was a surface that was made of wood. And then they studied the effects on the brain and what people reported feeling after touching these different environments with the soles of their feet. And what they actually found were measurable changes in people's physiological reaction to touching wood versus other surfaces. So if you want to create a naturally relaxing environment that promotes healing, definitely try to incorporate wood into your environment. It's even better if you can use plain wood, so something that doesn't have any type of stain or sealant on it, something that you can touch the natural wood itself and interact with it. Personally, I love an unstained wood. I love the brightness of it. It has that really nice golden white hue, or lots of species of wood have that really nice golden white hue, like white pine and birch and maple. And I would definitely agree. There's something that's naturally very comforting about wood. And don't forget to incorporate any of your favorite herbal books or natural living books. I love to have a little library in every section of the house that follows some of my interests and hobbies, and I think it would just be a great idea to keep all of your books on hand at your Windowsill apothecary. The best thing about a Windowsill apothecary is it can be created and used by almost anyone, no matter where you live, whether you own your own home in the country or you're living in an apartment. Another benefit is you can use it all season long, even in the dead of winter. I've created a green space in my dining area that doubles as my Windowsill apothecary, and I can definitely tell you it makes these long winters in Maine so much more bearable. It's so nice to be able to see greenery and interact with living plants in the dead of winter when everything outside is just bleak and gray, and I definitely find that it has a great effect on my overall mood and well-being, and it makes the winter go by just a little faster. So get started on creating your own place of healing by making your own Windowsill apothecary. If you do create one and you wish to share it, you can share it at our Facebook page at The Acadian Garden and Apothecary, and I will share that post as well on Instagram at The Acadian Garden, so that we can help to inspire others to bring the healing power of nature into our homes all year round. This is Danae London with the Acadian Garden and Apothecary. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful and inspiring, don't forget to hit the like button below and feel free to share it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos on gardening, herbal remedies, and natural living. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.